when now you arrived here, I don't know at what point, because when you want to go to school, many people as immigrants, we most of the time try to go to become nurse, just overall, just most of the science or medical in general. At what point you said I want to become a registered nurse and started doing that? Was just right after the exchange program ending? You just, okay, let me go there, or how long did it take to click in? I have to become a nurse here in America, and why, and not other programs?
It took me like 4 years. After my exchange program ended, I came to Ohio and I worked at, they found us a job in factory, like a plastic factory. Then I didn't like, I quit. Then I ended up going doing, it was a food company. I was like a forklift operator. That was too hard. Like, it was one job after another, one after another. And then I ended up working in a cheese factory. In a cheese factory, I stayed there for a while. Then right there, I met a lot of Tanzanians, other people. Like you talk and people talk about this and this. Then I had back injury. Like I started having back pain. I had a pinched nerve because the
Yeah.
job we were working was a lot of overtime. Like we used to work 6 days a week, 10 hours every single day.
Wow.
You like, man, the money was good, but man, it only was a lot of pain. Then I started having back pain, and I went to a doctor, chiropractor, and they told me that job was no good for me. I need to find a different job. Then I started thinking, I don't even know how I ended up with the idea of becoming, and I went to become a STNA. So I requested like 2 weeks vacation at my job. At that time, I only signed up to start the classes, the STNA classes. So I took
And
STNA classes.
if I interrupt, for those who do not know CNA is certified nursing assistant, right?
Yes.
And
Right. In Ohio, we call state tested nurses assistant.
okay, how long is that? Like, is 1 year, 1 week, 2 weeks?
That program is only 2 weeks.
Okay, so continue. I just want to make sure people understand that one. Okay.
Yeah, yeah. It takes 2 weeks. You go to school 2 weeks, and you take your okay. The difference between state tested and certified. When you are certified, okay, you go take your test. I mean, you take your classes for 2 weeks. Then you have a test to pass your class. Then once you pass the test, you get certificate now.
You
Then
become certified.
you certified nurses aid. With that one, you can work in the hospitals, you can work in the homes, but you cannot work in nursing homes. Then to be able to work in nursing home, then you gotta go take a state test now. Then you
Okay.
take get a certificate, like a small certificate. That's why you call state tested nurses aid.
Oh,
So
okay.
it's only 2 weeks. At that time, when I took I paid 500 and something, and I got my certificate, license, whatever you call. Yeah. Then I started working as an aide. I used to work with agencies, same agency that I got my classes. There are agents, like the agencies, like they have people everywhere, like they have like clients, we say clients.
Yeah.
Maybe you have a client in the nursing homes, in the homes. So your employees or the worker, they call agencies aides, or they can call agency nurses. Then they come, like we say, okay, this week I have needs here and here and here and here. So you every day you go to different places. It's not like you work in one place.
Yes.
Work for agency, so you go different places. So I started working for that company that way. When you work that way, you get paid more compared to somebody who just work in one place. So I started working with them. It was December of 2005. So I started working with them, and it was good. I used to be a lot of hours. I used to make good money. At that time, I used to make over $500 every week.
Wow.
Man, I thought rich. Yeah, it was good money at that time. That was a long time ago. So I work, and then at one point the hours started slowing down.
Yeah.
Then like, okay, now I need I need stable job. Then one of the places I used to go and I liked it, I went to apply and I started working there. So I stayed in one place. Then after I worked for a while, because the job was not easy, the job was hard, especially when you have heavy people. Sometimes, when you're in a nursing home, some people cannot walk, they cannot do anything for themselves. So you help them. It's a lot of physical work. So after a while, and I was like, man, this is too much. Maybe I need something else. Then that's when I started thinking, like, maybe I need to be a physical therapist. Then become a nurse was not in my mind at that time. So, then I applied for school and I got accepted.
As a physical therapist?
Yeah, because I wanted to be a physical therapist now. But no, you do prereqs first before you get to the program. So then I started doing the prereqs and stuff. Then I finished my prereqs. Then another requirement was you volunteer at where they do physical therapy, either in a hospital, in a community, or whatever it is, or even a nursing home. You pick for 70. I think it was 70 hours or 50 hours. Then I had to do it, and I volunteer. Can you imagine working for free? Follow someone, help them for free, man. But when I started, I was like, man, it was so boring, and I'm like, I don't even want to do a physical lifting, but then I come there when they do physical therapy. Sometimes they have to do the same thing. I'm like, no, this is not for me. Yeah, I was like, no. Then I started thinking about maybe I should be a massage therapist. But when I was in a class, people, when you're in a class, everybody taking different program. They're like, what are you gonna do? What are you gonna do? Then I was talking to someone. They're like, well, that's a good program, but the problem is you might finish your school and you might not get a job, or it might take you a long time to get a job. I'm like, wow, that's crazy. Then I'm like, you know what? I think I'm gonna be a nurse. But at that time, I didn't know if I wanted to be LPN or RN.
What is the difference? What is the long form of those two? And what is the LPN, difference?
LPN, they call licensed practical nurses. And RN, they call registered nurses. There's different level of education. Like, in a nursing, LPN is lower than RN. Yeah. Like, LPN, right now, especially right now, LPNs cannot work in the hospitals anymore. Only RNs can work in the hospital. There's some stuff RN can do, but LPN cannot do. So, let me say, to start IVs, when you start antibiotics, the first dose, it has to be hanged by RN. LPN cannot do it. Like when somebody has a PICC line, I don't know, now that's a little bit difficult terms. Like a PICC line, IV, you know how IVs, some people have here on the arm?
Yes.
But they go straight, more central lines.
Oh, God. Yeah.
They are not supposed to take care of those, especially when you have to flash in and stuff like that. They're not supposed to. So LP and RN, there's some stuff they can do, but stuff we can do the same. Then, so I was like, no, if I want to be a nurse and LPN, they pay this much. Because LPNs, how much they get paid is not much different from what STNAs get paid. It's the difference is low. I'm like, I go to school and everything, and I'm going back here and I get paid STNA. And another thing, so right now, there's some agencies pay STNA the same as some LPNs get paid.
Oh, that's to me, I feel
that's yeah. So then I'm like, people are like, oh, the program is so hard, and I'm like, oh my God, English is my second language. How am I gonna do it? And I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna have to try. I cannot say I cannot do. I have to try and see if I can do it. So I'm like, if I'm gonna go straight for RN. So I went in school and I'm like, I'm changing my program. I want to be RN. So I changed my program to start studying RNs. Then at that time, all the prereqs that I took for physical therapy, they're almost the same as what they need for nursing. So I only had few left. When I was done, I applied because I was going to a community college. When I was done, when I go to say I was going to apply to get in the program, they said the waiting list was 2 years. I was like, great. I was like, I cannot wait for 2 years. I might not even go back to school.
Yeah.
So then I applied to a private school. Then my GPA was really high. And then another good thing was I already had an experience as an aide, so it was easy for me to get in. So I went straight in.
That's a very good, interesting, the reasoning behind, yeah.